Loss of quality is the major problem in archive preservation. It begins at the very beginning that you have to get your hands on the master copy in the first place, and I've already mentioned that. It's becoming increasingly difficult. It's so easy to record off air and lose the master copy, and even lose the notion of the master copy. Second, you have to have proper equipment. You can't just grab any old player and stick a tape in it and hope for the best. Proper equipment, professionally set up, calibrated, refurbished, and maintained. Then you need workflow. It's not just a matter that you take a tape and do something to it. There are the metadata steps, the quality control steps. Things maybe need cleaning and refurbishing. You have a signal chain. You have material passing through a signal chain. It's going to be coded. It's going to be put in a wrapper. It's all too easy for metadata that might come from your original file to get lost somewhere or scrambled. So you have to really work on the workflow to make sure that what comes out at the back end is just as good as what went in at the front end. And then finally, quality control and automated quality control, because you're trying to make an efficient workflow, because you're trying to save your whole archive, not just individual items.
Well, of course, we are trying to do everything to keep the quality as it is currently on the videotapes. So for our process, we decided, for example, for SD file, so the D10, and we are not transferring our SD content to HD, because from my point of view, there we would actually lose quality and not getting a better thing out of it. On the other side, of course, we have some A/B controlling in one of our control layers, where we from time to time have some A/B controls on the content, where experienced video technicians make sure that we are not losing any quality at all.
I would say thorough and consistent QC and review. It would be great to be able to compare each film with the original, but that's obviously not possible in a project this big. But there are times where things will be set aside or postponed, where we actually will go look at the film on a Steenbeck to make sure that, you know, whatever we're looking at is printed in, or if it actually is a possible artifact from digitization. So I would say, yeah, QC and review. The Moving Image Archive is also looking at these assets when they're put up from an access standpoint. So we've really got several stages of review that are going on for each film.
First, you have to think about what is to keep. You have to keep the media structure. You have to keep the file format, the wrapper, the codec, and also metadata. It's very important, also the metadata. To start at the baseline, this means the original format. The original format in earlier times was SD or D10, as we call it. And what is really important is to stick to the original format and to develop conversion jobs, conversion processes into the actual production format. So this is really important. This is a real error that many people do, is because you have to convert between SD and HD, between 4:3 and 16:9, and so on. And you, with all of the conversions, you lose resolution, you lose information that is in the video. So the rule of thumb is keep the material in the original codec. Keep it, and then you're really set for the future. Metadata also is important because the number of audio channels, the origin format like black and white and NTSC and PAL formats can be important for the conversion process and probably cannot be find out by 100% later on. So this makes a lot of difference if you have decayed material that you have to conceal to get a usable material format later, or you can access the original format as it was then.